Welcome to the Port of Long Beach, one of the busiest ports in the United States, currently at the forefront of a major technological shift. Automation is transforming how goods are moved and handled here. Automated cranes, self-driving trucks, and AI-driven logistics systems are becoming the norm. This change promises efficiency and reduced operational costs. However, automation comes with significant challenges. The longshoremen, who have been the backbone of port operations, are facing an uncertain future. The shift towards automation threatens their job security. As machines take over tasks once performed by humans, the number of available jobs is decreasing. Moreover, the drive for automation isn't purely domestic. Foreign companies that own and operate some of the U.S. ports are accelerating this trend. They prioritize efficiency and profits, sometimes at the expense of local workers. The impact of these changes is profound and far-reaching. The automation wave is not just a technological shift, it is a social and economic transformation. It affects not only the workers, but also the communities that depend on the port for their livelihoods. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for navigating the future of port operations. For decades, longshoremen have been the lifeblood of the Port of Long Beach. They handle the cargo, operate the machinery, and ensure the smooth flow of goods. With automation, many of these tasks are now performed by robots and automated systems. This shift has led to fears of massive job losses among port workers. The automation of ports is not a new phenomenon. However, the pace at which it is happening now is unprecedented. Workers who once had stable, well-paying jobs are now facing an uncertain future. The introduction of automated systems has led to a reduction in the number of available jobs. This has created a sense of insecurity among the workforce. The decline in job security has far-reaching implications. It not only affects the workers, but also their families and the broader community. The loss of jobs means a loss of income, which can lead to economic instability. This in turn can have a ripple effect on the local economy. Despite these challenges, some argue that automation can create new opportunities. For instance, the need for maintaining and managing automated systems could lead to new kinds of jobs. However, the transition is not easy. It requires retraining and upskilling of the existing workforce, which can be a daunting task. To fully grasp the impact of automation, it is essential to look at historical data. In the past, technological advancements have often led to job losses. The mechanization of industries in the 20th century is a prime example. While these changes improved efficiency, they also displaced many workers. The port industry is no exception. Over the years, the introduction of new technologies has led to a reduction in the workforce. For instance, the advent of containerization in the 1960s revolutionized the shipping industry. It made the loading and unloading of cargo more efficient, but also led to a significant reduction in the number of dock workers. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows a steady decline in port jobs over the past few decades. This trend is likely to continue with the increasing adoption of automation. The experience of other industries suggests that without intervention, many workers could be left behind. However, it is also important to note that technological advancements can lead to the creation of new industries and jobs. The challenge is to ensure that the transition is managed in a way that minimizes negative impacts on workers. This requires careful planning and support from both the government and industry leaders. One of the key factors driving the push for automation at U.S. ports is foreign ownership. Many of the major ports, including the Port of Long Beach, are owned or operated by foreign companies. These companies often prioritize efficiency and profit over the welfare of local workers. Foreign ownership brings with it a different set of priorities. These companies are often more willing to invest in automation technologies. They see it as a way to reduce costs and increase competitiveness. However, this focus on efficiency can come at a cost. The drive for automation is often driven by the need to remain competitive in the global market. Foreign-owned ports are under pressure to maintain high levels of efficiency. This can lead to decisions that prioritize automation over job security for local workers. The influence of foreign ownership on port operations cannot be underestimated. These companies have significant control over how ports are managed. Their decisions have a direct impact on the local workforce. It is important for policymakers to consider this when developing strategies to protect worker interests. Section 5, the economic ripple effect on local communities. The impact of automation on port workers extends beyond the loss of individual jobs. It has a ripple effect on the entire local community. The Port of Long Beach is a major economic driver for the region. It provides employment not only for port workers, but also for many other businesses that rely on port activities. When jobs are lost at the port, the effects are felt throughout the local economy. Businesses that depend on port activities, such as trucking companies and suppliers, also suffer. This can lead to a decline in economic activity and a reduction in tax revenues for local governments. The loss of jobs can also lead to social challenges. Unemployment can increase, leading to higher levels of poverty and social unrest. The decline in economic activity can also affect public services. Local governments may have less revenue to invest in services such as education and healthcare. Addressing these challenges requires a comprehensive approach. It is not enough to focus only on the port workers. Support must be provided to the entire community. This includes investing in economic diversification and providing support for businesses affected by the decline in port activities. Section 6, balancing technological progress and economic stability. The challenge of balancing technological progress and economic stability is a complex one. On the one hand, automation offers significant benefits. It can improve efficiency, reduce costs, and increase competitiveness. On the other hand, it can lead to job losses and economic instability. Finding the right balance requires careful planning and collaboration. It is important to recognize that technological progress is inevitable. However, it is also important to ensure that the benefits of automation are shared fairly. This means providing support for workers who are displaced by automation. One way to achieve this balance is through retraining and upskilling programs. These programs can help workers transition to new roles. They can also provide support for workers who are unable to find new jobs. This requires investment from both the government and the private sector. Another important factor is the role of policymakers. They need to develop strategies that support both technological progress and economic stability. This includes creating an environment that encourages innovation while also protecting worker interests. It is a delicate balance, but it is one that must be achieved. Section 7. Community resilience, adapting to change. Communities around the Port of Long Beach are facing significant challenges. However, they also have the potential to adapt and thrive in the face of change. Building community resilience is key to addressing the impacts of automation. This requires a collective effort from all stakeholders. One of the first steps in building resilience is raising awareness. It is important for the community to understand the changes that are happening. This includes understanding the potential impacts of automation and the opportunities it may bring. Community meetings and educational programs can play a key role in this. Another important step is fostering collaboration. Different stakeholders, including workers, businesses, and policymakers, need to work together. This can help identify solutions that benefit everyone. For example, businesses can partner with educational institutions to develop training programs for workers. Community support networks also play a crucial role. These networks can provide support for individuals and families affected by job losses. They can also help build a sense of solidarity and shared purpose. By working together, the community can develop strategies to adapt to the changes brought by automation. Section 8. Policy interventions protecting worker interests. Policymakers have a crucial role to play in addressing the impacts of automation. They need to develop and implement policies that protect worker interests. This includes providing support for displaced workers and ensuring that the benefits of automation are shared fairly. One of the key policy interventions is investment in education and training. This can help workers develop the skills needed for new roles. It can also support lifelong learning, ensuring that workers can adapt to changing job requirements. Government-funded training programs and partnerships with industry can be effective. Another important policy area is social safety nets. Unemployment benefits, healthcare, and other forms of support can provide a safety net for workers who lose their jobs. This can help mitigate the economic impact of job losses and support workers as they transition to new roles. Policymakers also need to consider the broader economic impacts. This includes supporting economic diversification and investing in sectors that can create new jobs. By taking a comprehensive approach, policymakers can help ensure that the transition to automation is as smooth and equitable as possible. Section 9, Conclusion: Navigating towards an equitable future. The automation of the Port of Long Beach represents a significant shift in the way ports operate. It offers many benefits, including increased efficiency and reduced costs. However, it also poses significant challenges, particularly for the workers and communities that depend on port jobs. To navigate these challenges, it is essential to find a balance between technological progress and economic stability. This requires the collective effort of all stakeholders, including workers, businesses, policymakers, and the community. By working together, it is possible to develop strategies that ensure a fair and equitable transition. One of the key strategies is to invest in education and training. This can help workers develop the skills needed for new roles and support lifelong learning. Policymakers also need to develop comprehensive policies that protect worker interests and support economic diversification. Ultimately, the goal is to build a resilient community that can adapt to change. By fostering collaboration and providing support, it is possible to create a future where both technological progress and economic stability are achieved. The automation wave is here to stay, but with the right approach, it can lead to a brighter future for all.